I thought I would try my hardest to walk through my planner system before it got to what it was. If you've seen a lot of my videos, I've had a YouTube channel for a while, and all of my past videos were always the different planners that I wanted to use. As you see now, maybe all of the companions. I was in and out of different sizes, rings, discs, traveler's notebooks, day timers, Franklin Covey, all the different things, because I feel I was on the search for something that could work and I could not make it work. So I don't know, for 4 years, 5 years, you would see me on my YouTube channel just share my journey of what I wanted to use it. Some days it would be I'm using this one day, the next day I switched. I would switch out of things really fast. But one common theme was I always had like a main, planner. And at the time, my main planner was always rings. As long as it was, or somewhat for a consistent amount of time, rings. As long as I had different sections, home, weekly, daily, lists, family, were some of the main themes I had. Now, I shared in prior videos just my ring inserts that I used to use were Marcia Bramucci. These were this was like 2019. It was all just day on 2 pages. Then I always had a monthly, weekly, daily. And my weeklies were always like a Hobonichi style, week on 1 page with all of the notes on the right side, because I would use let me go back here. I would use to just document everything we had, and then like to-dos, and then like dinner ideas. So I was slowly coming into like an insert that I would use now. This is kind of what's the insert that did it. It was the Marcia Bramucci insert. So all of my week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was on this side. And then in the middle was like weekly to-dos and shopping, but I sectioned it out. So menu, there was goals up here. So I would do that in rings, and it worked for most of 2019. That was the most successful main planner I had. And then prior to that, I would just always make sure, and I couldn't bring my whole craft room, down here, but I would always make sure that I had, a daily, a weekly, and a monthly. So I kind of saved these. I sometimes would use a tracker a whole lot for 2019. But then I went to the Franklin Covey compact size, and I just kind of did the same stuff. These were all of the dailies for last year. But as you could see, I would use this insert differently. I would use it for a monthly overview, kind of like what I'm using as the dashboard, goals, stuff for the house. I didn't turn it into memories until March of this year, but these were the inserts that I used. Oh well, I don't know. I'll just put that there. I do have, let me see, I think these are, these are 2020. So, I started using things differently. My whole main, thing I wanted to say is that I had a main planner. So, and then here's my monthlies I would use. They were Marcia Bramucci. So I used these January and then February, and then it died down. Oh, let me take this. Then it died down in March, because that's when I started using the book. So I just took these inserts out and I just kind of archived them, because I knew that, I was no longer really going to use rings. Now, rings were my jam for the longest time. I always had a ring planner around. And so I brought these boxes down to show that, 2019, I really, really, used rings. Now, I still have this completely set up. I use it more of a reference for the back. I use my passwords in here on my, and really that's it. But if I ever get to wanting using the rings again, it would definitely be in a Franklin Covey size inserts. I've tried rings with, my Malden just recently. I've tried my pocket, I've tried my A6. It's just not working. Maybe on the go. So obviously here you could see that I still have 2020 inserts for Marcia Bramucci till the end of the year. If I want to use them, these were my inserts of choice. The daily sheets again I tried using it here October 30th. So it just didn't work. And then her inserts come with this sheet. So, and then on the back is like the daily page, like the first day of the month. So these are really good inserts by her. If I ever went back to like rings as my main thing, it'd probably be in her inserts, but just stay on 2 pages. So I have it set up, and back here is more of the personal stuff that I'm not going to go through, but I just don't use this. This is on my planner cart, and I kind of just keep it there. I have like another one you might have seen. Same stuff. I'm not using this at all. I have distortions, cognitive distortions. I think ring planners in personal wide for me, or Franklin Covey compact inserts are where it's at. I just, if I wanted to use this as my monthly dashboard, I could. So I do love rings, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not really for me right now. And I don't see it for me next year either. So, but I do like using it as a companion and section out stuff. So I thought I would bring those down just to show you. But I always loved notebooks. These are B6 Slim Nanamis. They're not finished, but I've used them a lot in commonplace books. So that's kind of what I did to help me with my planning system. I wanted the flow of my morning and my day, mentally, spiritually, physically, to be in one huge book, or section out the books, but at least my planning system, is there. Like my planning is there. So I used a lot of different commonplace books to just kind of, I would always do my dailies in there. I would always do journaling. I can't give this up. My commonplace book is something that I love, but I thought it would be nice to flip through this. I used this a lot last year to just do my thing. Notes on my marriage, daily pages, journaling, and I used it in 2 different books. I don't know, because I like to start different books for various reasons, and that's kind of what I did. I think this is the most used one, yeah. So what, this is April 2019. When did I start the other one? And these cover on covers you can get at Nanami. This is May. I have no idea why I started April. Looks like this was more like lists and notes and diary, and this was more dailies. So I kind of maybe did that. But either way, I still have a good portion of these books left. I can pull them out occasionally if I want to. So these books kind of like further help my love affair of bound books. So let's try to pull one of these out. We'll go into February of this year. I was in a Styology. I cut it down to a B6 slim size. And again, it started off as a commonplace book, and then it quickly morphed into sections of my main planner. So if you're trying to figure out a planning system, go review all your past planners and setups and notebooks and try to find a common theme that you have in there. Like I knew when I was looking at my ring planners, my common theme was monthly, daily, weekly when it came to planning. And then writing out my gratitude was not something that I did in my planning system. I could never do my gratitude. I remember trying to do like gratitude on a month on 2 pages, and it was not enough space because I write big, and I could never do it. I never did it until I like kind of listed it out and put it at the front of my book. So this February was just like a lot of planning, a lot of commonplace stuff. When I say commonplace, it's like there's no method to it. It's just pen to paper on whatever I feel at that moment. There's no nothing. So I think maybe here is when I started to think, okay, maybe I could use this as my main planner, but I need a future log. So I drew that out so I can put like events. Then I was like, I need projects for the house. I need sections for my children, because that's what I would use a lot in my list section in my planner, in my ring planner. And so, TV shows we wanted to watch. So it started to become more cohesive. Then I have soap study, and that was another theme. I was like, what do I have I would flip through all of my commonplace books. What is in there? What am I repeating a lot? And so, that's how it helped me write out my sections. So I really love this book. This is like the first book of like everything. Then I just started doing a lot of dailies. Just a lot of different dailies, notes. This has got to be one of my favorite spreads right here. This is day on 2 pages. I'm liking that. Then I got a calendar from Red Lyrics, and I was like, I'm gonna put this down as a dashboard. And it just clicked. Prior to me doing this, I was looking through this book and I found a nice cover. I think I couldn't find a nice cover. This is what I was in for a while because I couldn't find a nice cover. And then I got a cover from Idaho Leather Works, which was like a Kodiak leather B6 Slim. And then I got like a blue Asian vintage design, like a snap cover. And so I started playing with covers that I loved. And then I just took stuff from my rings, this main insert, and I was like, well, I want to be able to write my important memories. I started doing like a dashboard where I could, if I had lists that were important for my children, my home, for the month, I could easily just have that, This is a therapy recap. This is a to-do. These are things I need to do for the family. All of these here. And so then I'm like, okay, if I need more room, which I know I would because I'm a writer, where should I put that? So I was like, I'll just put down a master task list for the month, and then one for me and one for the home. And then came in the thankfulness. I wanted to make it a habit of in the morning when I first wake up, and I have not done anything in my main planner, right? Well, this is my November, my current. I have scripture and gratitude first before all of these tabs. Well, of course, my goals are up there. I transferred the tab, my memories, but I don't need a tab to tell me where those are. But I don't flip to those first thing in the morning. I flip to my gratitude to write out what I'm grateful for. So I wanted that at the front, and then a scripture plan that I'm going to follow. Now, at this time, I didn't put my soap study, my Bible study in this book. That didn't happen until about, July, when I put it all in one book. I allotted for it. So I started to think, what books could help me put everything all in one? I started counting out what I wanted to put in a book and the sections I wanted. So I did a lot of brain dumping. But anyhow, so these are my morning pages. What are you truly thinking about each day? Write the good, bad, and the ugly and highlight it. That is the creation of my morning page. Then I did my weekly, and then I did my dailies. So obviously it's different now. I've added, and then it just kept going. I didn't have a habit tracker at first until, I don't know, I had meal plans for Sophia, but one thing that was there was a daily and a weekly. My monthly, I didn't bring it down here, but it was in a B6 slim size, and it was just like the one you see now. It is in a monthly book. So it just kept going. And then let's see when the tracker came into play. So that was all in March. April came about. I don't see any of the tracker yet. Let me see if I could find it. I did have a meal planning insert to plan out my kids and my husband's, because at the time I was keto and I wouldn't eat everything that they would eat. So then I did food logs, notes in this week in between my days. So I'm just trying to see when I did the tracker. So it must have been in the May book. So again, I would set it up and I would do the same exact things. This is how then when May came, I already knew like what my system was altogether. Then I allowed since I had a base, I allowed it to be tweaked if I needed to. So at the time I would carry my meal planner with me. And I think that's how I replaced I took my meal planner out and I did a tracker. So here it goes. This is the first week I did a tracker. And this is because I asked Catherine at Sterling Inc. to make me one. And this was what, May 27th? Yeah. And so the week of May 27th. So then I started with victories and defeats. It was no home and personal tracking. I had, which I didn't bring, I had a habit tracker that I would do in my ring planner. And I have a video on that. I will try to link all 7 of the videos that I did in my planner series in this one, because it goes hand in hand. But yeah, so I did a habit tracker. Then I pasted in a scripture plan, this week notes, and then it went into my dailies. So then at the start of a new week, it would just be my morning. I did evening pages as well. This would start the new week, and then it would be a habit tracker and my weekly and my notes and then my dailies. So that went on, and that didn't change until my August book, which you guys all know it to be my Moleskine. So these two went hand in hand. So July, I started in here, and then I finished July in here. So I started July 1st in here, like I just kind of back planned, but it was in here at first. So I also had tried a new weekly insert that I just didn't like. But there was my habit tracker, my notes, my days, my week. Then this is when I would start the personal and the home in my tracking, and then the victory and defeat. But then I got the bright idea to switch to a standard size. And I was like, because standard size was always my jam. I would always use traveler's notebooks. And at this time I was like, again, keeping in mind, what do you like? What is your common thing? What do you always grab? What do you always reach for? And that was the standard size. So prior to February all the way through half of July, I was in a B6 Slim. Then I went to the standard. So I just taped in a little thankfulness right here to get me from the 13th all the way through the end of the month. At first it started, like I said, as a commonplace book, and then I had July 4th and 5th some hourglass planner daily inserts. And then this is when I first started in this size, in this notebook, where I was on a journey to put everything all in one book. And this is a Midori lightweight insert notebook. So there's the week. The week never changed. There's the heart tracker. It's going to change into a habit tracker later. My morning pages, and then my daily. Then that was like my planning, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to put my brain dump pages in my planning system, because at this time I was putting it in a separate TN. So then I did that. So then now it becomes a habit tracker. My morning pages. Then here are my daily. So then I didn't think to put like my my health pages and my like my soap study in this book until probably like a little bit into the month. Then I just sectioned, because I had this, so I would use it like it was empty. And I only knew I wanted to go through July in this book because I knew I was going to go into my Moleskine. That was a huge book. And then I could account for everything. So again, you got to like let yourself morph into what you want organically. I think that's the key to making a system work for you. So then I would do my health pages and my exercise tracker. I wanted to know what I was eating, because I went into plant-based lifestyle. So I made enough pages from my daily pages on to make sure I had enough for my health, and then my soap study. So July is when the pivotal month is when I started putting everything in one huge book. So before July was up, I was like, what book would fit everything? So I already knew astrology would, because it was 365 pages. I knew a Moleskine would, because they had the expanded. I knew my Nanami books. So those were my three. And how did I know about those books? Well, I used them in the past, in different sizes. At this time, I never used like an A5 Nanami. It was always like the B6 Slims. I always used the 192 Moleskine books, the Kahir, whatever books. And then for, Steology, well, obviously I knew about that brand, because this was a B6 that I would cut down to a B6 Slim. So then I'm like, I'm going Moleskine, because I love the Moleskine and the grid. So because I've already had a setup, I set it up exactly how I wanted. Then I did tasks, personal goals, gratitude, habit tracker, and then my morning pages. And then this is when I sectioned out. Let me say, I also thought in mind, what are my different layouts that I like? I like day on 2 pages. I like the day on 2 days on a page. Like, I like that, because why? It gives me a chance to write more, because I am a writer. If you're not a writer and you don't like to write a lot, well, then a 400-page book is probably not for you. You know what I mean? You might want to go with those thin, 100-page books or 90-page books. You got to keep that in mind as well. So there was my health pages. It started. And then came in my Bible study. At first, it was not the spread that you see now. The spread that you see now is like this. It was this way, because if you watched more of my videos, that's how I used to divide my pages up in like a little cross for my soap study pages. I thought about going back into that maybe at the new year, but it doesn't give me a lot to write. As you can see, I had to put in tip-ins, because I write big. So then there's my soap study. Then it went into my brain dump. So now everything's starting to kind of flow exactly how I want it, all in one book. So my habit tracker always started a new week. So now it's just the same stuff. There's September. I was able to get 2 months into this one book. 42 pages weekly, 6 pages before my planner system. So that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, maybe I wasn't counting that. I need to count. I don't know what I was counting for 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, yeah. So these pages come before every week. So that's kind of what happened. And then I got the bright idea to go to an even bigger book for October. Because I was like, what about if I put my commonplace book and my journaling in with my whole entire system? Then in came the Nanami. So the Nanami 7 C's or the Writer, those ones have 480 pages. That's just 1 month. So I knew my planning was gonna take me here. That was gonna be all of October, right? Planning wise. And then I knew I had all of this left to do whatever I wanted to do. So I decided to do my journaling. So I did enough pages for 30 days of journaling, and I did some prompts, and then I did my, I think this is journaling still. And then it was my commonplace book. And then in my commonplace book is which I put my health pages, and then I used my commonplace book. So I worked from the back to the front, and I just went to town on things that I wanted to put in here. So commonplace book ideas, journaling, sermon notes, deep Bible study, notes from books that you read, project ideas, household items, items to look up, creative ideas, YouTube content, professional development. So whatever you want. I put 10 ways to untwist my thinking, cognitive restructuring, things that I loved and saw on Instagram, bucket list, notes on autism, sources of protein. So how to win and influence people, like slash your carbs, manage your anxiety, why is ABA helpful? I did whatever. I even put some daily pages in here to see if I liked it for more self-care. And then in came, so this is October and this is November. So I went into a wider size, and then obviously you see what you see today. I have my journaling in here. Right? So this is all my journaling. I have a commonplace book. I have a section for food. I had a section for self-care. So that's what's going to happen in December, right? I'm going to have my main, well, I just moved it. My main planning book is right here, but it's in a smaller book. Because why? I now have this was a bigger book because everything was all in one book. Now it's just sectioned out. I like to switch things up. I like to switch sizes up. I like to switch books up. I like to switch inserts up, because that's how I keep things interesting. So here's my food log in my journal in one book. Here's my December dailies in my commonplace book in one book. And then here's my planning book. And then here's my monthly. I don't know if this helped you, but I will try to link everything down so that you guys can have more of my planner series books that I made. There's 7 of those videos, and they break this down even further. So I thought I would maybe kind of update, take you on a little journey of what it used to be. But my planning system has morphed, it's grew, it's ever evolving. I think I have it at a nice place now. And in 2021, you will just see me continue to use bound books in different sizes and different papers, but my planning system is not going to change. That has had a huge effect on my mental, spiritual, and physical wellness all of 2020, since February of this year. So I look forward to making a book every month and archiving it and taking you guys along on my journey. God bless you.